Hello folks, my name is Jeremy Bliss and I am a fourth-year IT student at the University of Phoenix. When I'm not at school, I do work full-time as a business systems analyst where I provide enterprise-level support on the various pieces of software that we use at my company. In addition to providing software support, I also provide desktop support when our end users have hardware and software related issues. And when I'm not at work, I do also run a small computer consulting business on the side where I do pretty much the same thing, and I go out to people's houses and help them diagnose and resolve any hardware and software issues that they're having. Now, one question that I get asked a lot by customers is, does it make more sense to pay you to install an internal hard drive on my machine versus me going and purchasing an external hard drive? And that really comes down to two questions. The driving factors behind that decision are simple. The first factor is price. I can tell you that internal hard drives are typically a little bit cheaper than their external counterparts, and it's just because there's less pieces that you're buying when you buy an internal hard drive. Of course, you have to pay me to come and put it in, but if you're paying me to be there anyway, I might as well just go ahead and pop a new hard drive in your machine for you. The second consideration that you need to take into account when making this decision is desk space. Do you have enough space on your desk to have an external hard drive sitting there? And I know me personally, I produce music and my desk is littered with different MIDI controllers and pieces of sound equipment, so I just don't have space to have an external hard drive sitting on my desk. So for that reason, I typically suggest going with an internal hard drive. So with that in mind, in my presentation today, I'm first going to walk you through the considerations to make when deciding what internal hard drive to buy. And then the second half of the presentation is actually going to be me walking you through actually installing this in the machine sitting to my left, or my right in the video, as it may be. So, considerations to make for an internal hard drive. There are two main ones that you need to account for. Number one is, do you have a space on your motherboard for an additional hard drive? A lot of older computers only come with one hard drive port on the motherboard, but most present-day computers will have a second expand slot that you can plug an additional hard drive into. The second consideration to make is, what kind of hardware connectors do you actually have inside your machine? ATA cables are pretty old and they're pretty outdated in personal desktop computers. If you're not familiar with an ATA cable, it's a little thin ribbon and it's about that long, plugs into the back of your hard drive. This computer actually has what's called a serial ATA or SATA cable, and it's a lot smaller, a lot more compact, and a lot easier to work with, in my opinion. So you have to first decide what kind of connection your computer has so you know what kind of hard drive you need to buy, because the two are not interchangeable. Like I said, my computer has a SATA connection, so I went out and purchased myself a 1 terabyte SATA internal hard drive. So to actually install this in the computer, there's a couple of things we need. We don't really need any tools. We're just plugging and playing our new hard drive. So the first thing we actually need to do is we need to make sure that our computer is powered down and unplugged. That just helps us ensure that we're not going to electrocute ourselves once we start digging into the inside of this thing. Number two, if you have carpet in your house, or pretty much best practice, always do this, but especially if you have carpet in your house, touch a piece of the metal around your computer. That is going to discharge any built-up static electricity that you've accumulated on your body by walking through carpet. So, with those two out of the way, it's time to actually take off the side panel to the computer. You'll see a little thumb screw on the back on either the right or left side, depending on how your computer's set up. All you have to do is loosen that thumb screw, and the side panel should slide right off your computer with little to no effort. Once you have the side panel off and you've exposed the actual internals of your computer, you should see where your secondary input for a new hard drive is. For the sake of demonstration, I've already plugged the cable into it because it's a little difficult to try to plug it in and work the video at the same time. So this actually came with the new hard drive. It's a brand new SATA cable. I've just simply plugged it into the hard drive on the machine. So we just need to take the other end of this SATA connection and plug it right into the back of our new hard drive. Very simple. Once we've connected our hard drive to the motherboard, you'll see that we have a couple of different power connections. Since this is a SATA connection, it has a SATA style power supply as well that comes straight from the power supply. So I know that there's two of these on here because of the secondary port that my computer has on the motherboard for a new hard drive. So just simply connect the power connector to the back of your hard drive as well. Put the hard drive in the machine, and then you simply have to reattach the side panel of your machine, tighten down the thumb screw, and you're ready to plug your computer back in and format the hard drive. So today, we covered the decision that needs to be made between purchasing an internal hard drive or an external hard drive. I walked you through the considerations to make when determining which is the correct hard drive that you need to install on your computer, and I walked you through the very simple procedure of installing the new hard drive in your machine. I hope this presentation has been informative for you, and I hope that it helps you with this question in the future. Have a great day, everybody.